Warning.
Watch very closely now. 3, 2, 1. Bzow! Check that out.
The following podcast features terrible jokes.
You know you can use Hot Wheels cars when you need to make a saving throw in D&D? Every car is die-cast.
Usually about board games.
We want the fun. Gotta have that fun.
Must insist that no one attempt to recreate any joke performed on this podcast.
We had less technical issues than $1 million company.
All right!
This is Boards and Swords.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Boards and Swords. This is a podcast featuring bad jokes, good folks, and some tabletop games. Who am I? My name is Chris Renshaw. I'm going to click this button, and we're going to get it over here to Mr. Phil Herbert, my partner in crime.
What's going on, everybody? Derp, derp, derp. Derp, 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 derp.
Durka, durka,
Meep,
durka.
meep, meep.
I mean, no, I didn't say that.
What's going on, everybody? No, we're not going to say that one. Not doing that one.
Yeah.
We'll
So,
keep it PG-13. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe I might have.
it's very faint.
Wait, did that not come out of the right speaker?
There you go. Oh, because we don't have Discord.
That one worked better? Okay. Yeah, because we don't have Discord. I can't, but I have Discord.
Yeah.
It's great. We're working it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm sure there's a way I can put a soundboard on here.
I gotta plug that. Oh no, I just gotta plug my iPad back into that one channel.
Oh yeah, or that.
And
Or
then-
your phone-
then
or
I'll
your
have the other
phone.
soundboard, yeah. But we'll do that later.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm definitely. You know what? I would not have been able to deal with all this stuff I set up. Granted, I set this up in the past week, but all the stuff that I set up today would not have been able to do when we did our normal recording. So I'm glad we moved. But yeah. So we got a really great show for you today. Hopefully, if I could get through, actually remembering how to do a podcast and get out of troubleshooting mode and into being entertaining. We've got great stuff. We've got our standard news lineup. Later on, we're gonna have a interview with the crew from Gates of Krystalia, which is a RPG about being in an Isekai anime. So if you're a big fan of that kind of like, the time I was reincarnated as a slime, or I got brought to the farm life in another world, or any of those things, you're gonna love that. And then also we have bags to talk about, Philip.
Yes, we do. Oh, it's way over there. It's okay. I can get it.
Although it might be a little rough for me to do that because right now there is a cat sitting on the bag. This is where I've got stuff set up now that I can put my phone in as a thing. I need to do that so I can put it it is the perfect he's just like, nope. Oscar's just sitting there like, nope, you're not using this.
It's mine now.
Yeah. So we had the CEO of Rollacrit on, and now we've both had a chance to use their new bag of holding. So we're gonna talk about it. But first we got some news. Classy.
This is great.
All right, hang on a second. Oop, there we go. All right, so let me. I gotta click things first. My new cat has to wear sunglasses at all times and can even stop bullets with his paw. That's what I get for ordering him from Neopets. Yeah. That's the other thing about this new setup is now the computer over here is only devoted to screen stuff, like showing off stuff on stream. So I don't have to worry about
that CPU is like, thank God.
Yeah, because that's the one that's like the 2012 Mac. That's now just running Linux. But I don't have to worry about, let me crop this one section, and oh no, it's not picking up the right parts that I want to see, and blah, blah. Anyways, this is from Wargamer.com. $400,000 Neopet TTRPG Kickstarter canceled after playtest backlash and fans are demanding refunds. This was weird. I mean, granted, the fact that so caveat is I know Neopets is a thing. I do not, like, I recognize the nostalgia aspects of it, but I was never into it, so I don't understand enough about it to know about like what aspects would make it a good RPG other than it's a property. So,
yeah, I mean, there is some lore in, because I had one way
Right.
back in the early aughts.
The early aughts.
And there's some like lore, and when you're reading through like your little Neopets and some of the games you're playing and like some of the events that they held throughout the year. So I mean, they could have been going with that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
or it could have just been a giant nostalgia sink, and
A little bit of column A.
it would have been a book that sat on people's shelves and nobody ever played it. Yeah, you know.
All right. Neopets has canceled its licensed tabletop RPG after a playtest saw widespread criticism from its fan base. A blog post from March 10th, Mario Day, says Neopets has terminated its license agreement with Geekify, the developer behind the controversial game, effective immediately. The Neopets RPG raised $427,000 on Kickstarter in August 2024, but with the project canceled and development still incomplete, it looks like backers will not be receiving the product that they funded. So this is where things get weird. So they released a playtest shared in February 2026. Many fans were disappointed that it seemed to be a combat-focused system that lifted most of its content directly from D&D. Others accused it of it being anachronistic with the Neopets canon, including sexual content or being homophobic. Because, that's what we need is them homophobic Neopets.
Yeah.
So naturally,
I just kind of want to adjust the second sentence.
What?
With the combat focused system directly from D&D. Is it? That's like your inspiration,
Right?
is gonna be a little bit of D&D, 99.999% of the time.
Yes and no. There are ways around.
And then you're gonna. There are ways around it, but I mean, it is like it's the most well-known tabletop RPG system.
Right. It's the world's most popular RPG. They'll say so on like every one of their books.
Yeah. So I mean, you're gonna modify its aspects and try to make it your own.
Yeah.
So like I can see like there's is any D20 system now going to be compared to Dungeons and Dragons?
Granted, we have not seen. I've not looked at the rules, but it depends on when they say lifted from the, like, is it because they went, strength, dexterity, charisma, constitution, and then like, like, is it literally a port or, but like, I scrolling down a little bit. Last month
we use words in the dictionary that D&D also uses.
Yeah. Last month, we recirculated a document that wasn't ready for distribution for a number of reasons, and we apologize for the confusion this has generated. This document was not submitted for review by Neopets prior to our releasing it and did not reflect either their views or our usual approval process. We apologize as well, both to Neopets and the fans that we did not follow our usual submission procedures. They say the playtest was intended to be a draft of a draft, undergoing constant revision, focus testing things that worked, and getting vibe checks to finalize the things that we had decided on. However, it says calling it a beta may have mistakenly given fans the impression that the game was close to being finished. Features that many fans critiqued the system for leaving out, such as pacifism and crafting, were intended to be added on to the document over the following weeks. So
it's an alpha.
Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of the definition of an alpha. But, like, so they go on to talk about later that, like, that they had been working with Neopets and they were not getting any response for them, so they just felt the need to put out something. And I'm like, that's not how licensing works. Like, could you imagine if, like, say during the middle of the X-Wing crisis, or like the X-Wing heyday, if they had just put out, like, not like a product, but like an image of a product and hadn't gone to Lucasfilm first to say, like, hey, is this okay if we announce this product? There would be like, these guys are lucky they're not getting sued for, like, breaking contractual agreements. Like, you're going to need that $400,000 for a law, like, because potentially Neopets can then say that they harmed the Neopets brand because everyone thought that this was, like, official product and it wasn't. And this is where we're getting into, like, the when they're talking about the homophobe and what was the other thing that was sexual content piece. Like, that's the part where it's like, no, you don't just, like, well, screw it. Like, no, you can say to your fans about, look, we're trying, but they're not responding. You put the blame on them. But now you just, like, you royally fucked up. Let's see. What was it? I'm trying to see where it talks about. Yeah. They allege that Neopets' involvement in the development of the TTRPG has been consistently lacking. They had been asked and invited continuously throughout the entirety of the project to review documents and check in, as well as be included in our weekly meetings. We were told frequently they were too busy to review work, and we were explicitly told only to submit things that were finalized, which often needed a lengthy feedback cycle, directly requiring their input to get to that finalized level. And even as recently as meetings in January, we're being told for the first time what should and shouldn't be considered canonical to include in the lower portions of the book. Sounds like you were not ready to work on a product. Like, you know, this sounds like there should have been more talks before the Kickstarter on things. Like, some of these things that, like, what should have been considered canonical to include in the lore, like, that, I would think that that's, like, first couple of meetings. Like, it's, like, what this sounds like is they literally went to Neopets, like, hey, we got an idea for a TTRPG. We got an idea for a TTRPG. Can we do it? And they're like, yeah, sure. Here's an agreement. Cool. Went to Kickstarter. Like, there was no like, we should talk about this and make sure we're all on the same page before we get to like actually asking people for money. I don't know. What do you think, Philip?
I'm just looking at that next graph that starts with throughout this project.
Yeah.
Like, according to this quote, they were trying.
Yeah.
And I mean,
but
like,
these are also
whether or not they were ready to make it.
It's also a fact of, like, these are also the people that did the wrong. So they're backpedaling. So how much can we actually this is this is what we're talking about, is the romance section kerfuffle. So it's one of those, like, I'm taking everything they say with a grain of salt. Because also they released products without going through the licensee. Like, you don't do that. Anyways, moving on. So actually click on the thing. There we go. I got banned from choosing games for game night, probably because last time I only brought plastic triangles for playing guitars. I guess they didn't like my picks. Uh-oh. Phil doesn't have his sound effects, so for those just jumping in, so we're working on it. That's something to figure out for next time. So I didn't talk about the original story here. I didn't talk about the original story here because it was one of those we went a month without a show, and there was so much to talk about, and this was just small bananas after all that. But board game YouTuber Game Night Picks fires back at misinformed fraud allegations by Watch It Played. Have you seen this, Philip?
I okay. First of all,
What?
have I seen gaming news? What kind of question is that?
I don't know. Like, I don't know how big of a story this is outside of like board gamers. You know.
Well, then no, it's not that big of a story at all. Outside of the board gaming community,
you and I have talked to both of these people.
I know. That's like that. This is one of the very, very few times that's going to happen on this. Like, I've met these people.
Yeah.
I've spoken with these people. I've shaken their hand. I broke bread with these people.
Yeah. So, board game YouTube.
That's actually my bar. Like, I've sat at a table and broke bread with you.
Board game YouTube channel Game Night
and
Picks.
then Beetle says most board gamers aren't even aware.
Yeah. Has released a video in response to what it calls misinformed attacks made by Watch It Play's Rodney Smith recently. For those not in the know, Rodney released a report on unethical practice in board game media ad sales on February 6th, claiming that their use of a YouTube advertising feature was fraudulent towards the channel's sponsors. So, just to clarify what's going on here, allegedly, we love that word, allegedly, Rodney came out with a video. It was also a blog post he did at the same time. Very serious face. You could tell, like, this was not the first stage of this. Like, and he even said in his thing that, like, he had tried talking to Chaz, who does Game Night Picks. And so, but basically that Chaz had used a feature in YouTube, which as soon as I heard about it, I was like, should I be turning on this feature? Like, where basically to, like, you can pay YouTube to, like, promote your stuff, to your videos to new people, right? That is, I mean, that is like
Okay.
Facebook does it. Everybody does it. That alone is not the problem. The problem is that he used it without disclosing it to up his numbers on videos that were being sponsored by outside of YouTube. And, like, the way that ad revenue works on these things, like whenever you see somebody doing like a hover ad or like a purple, like the mattress stuff, it's they get money for how many, it's like price per million or something like that is like the thing. Fundamentally, it's like, you get X amount per X, like, like $15 for every 1,000 people that watch this video or whatever. But if he's paying money, if he's having YouTube, and I'm telling, this is what was alleged. So pronouns would actually be not helpful here. The accusation is that Chaz was artificially bloating his videos, and thus that way to get more ad money out of his sponsors. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does make sense.
Okay. And so that was why, like, apparently Rodney had gone to him and talked with him, and, like, I don't like that. I think this is a little bit wrong. And I will say, hands down, that, like, when it comes to, like, you want to talk about, like, the whole, when there was the game ethics and game journalism, like, thing, when you want to talk about, like, ethics and board games, like, you don't get a cleaner guy than Rodney Smith. Like, that guy will call out anything he sees as bogus. So, like, you're already on the having to backpedal when it gets to the point. And like, look at this face. Like, this is not a friendly face here. Like, I have never seen that kind of Rodney Smith before. And that's why it's like, and if you look at like the comments and stuff, so Rustabito says, this is the most surprising to me that these two guys were good friends. That's what everybody would say is like, you look at Rodney's face and this is the, I've been forced to do this because I didn't have any other choice. Like, this is the, I've exhausted all my options here and I'm not comfortable with the result, so I'm having to go this route. So, all right, that's a little bit of the background. So, GMP owner Chaz Marler says in a video released on March 3rd that Smith's report contained incomplete information that was designed to cast doubt on the integrity of the channel and myself. Fair. Smith's statement shares a timeline of GMP's ad activity starting in early 2025 when the owner of Game Night Picks adopted a per-view fee structure for ads sold on their channel. Smith then says that the channel began using YouTube's promoted advertising feature. That move that apparently saw GMP's average views per video jump from 3,000 to 36,000 views. Like, that's huge. He also shares some screenshots of performance metrics, claiming that while a video with more views would in theory result in more people seeing the publisher's ad, the Game Night Picks released the videos using the YouTube advertising resulted in about 90% of the total viewers leaving the video within the first minute. So, like, this is all data. This isn't behind the scenes data. Like, anyone watching this video can go verify this info. Everything that Rodney is saying is verifiable info. Like, you can go look, and then you can see, like, YouTube will tell you, like, okay, this many people dropped off after the first minute. So, Smith reportedly raised concerns with the channel's owner about the ethics of maintaining a per-view fee for ads in December. Presumed to be Chaz Marler apparently told Smith that discounts have been issued to some publishers whose ad featured on promoted videos. Not satisfied that this resolved his ethical quandaries, that's how he ended up ending their working relationship, because like they had been on each other's channels and that sort of thing. So Marler's response video confirms the rough timeline that Smith presents, listing similar dates that videos aired and that Smith approached the GMP team. He also confirmed that the data presented is from GMP's private YouTube analytics, though Marler says these are cherry-picked examples that were shared without my knowledge or consent. Okay, so maybe some of the data is behind the scenes, but there's a lot. If you use specific sites, a lot of that data can be like, I think there's a YouTube API that will pull a lot of that data, because I'm pretty sure there are other sites where like I could pull in, you know, because when I was doing some like social media marketing work on my MBA, there are sites where you can put in like quote unquote competitors and see some of their data. And it's not as detailed as what you would get in YouTube, but like you can get some of this data. It just might be the actual screenshots were probably from YouTube. The screenshots offer a skewed perspective on how YouTube promotions affect viewer retention. Marler shows some screenshots of his own, claiming that other promoted videos have retention rates between 11 and 43%. He also claims that Smith's data was shared specifically to damage my reputation with the public and the board game publishers I work with. I mean, I don't know about you, Philip, but if I had retention rates of 11 and 43%, then I would be using if I was said board game publisher, and I would be like, okay, so we only need to pay you 11 to 43% of what we were supposed to pay you then, right? Depending on the video, it'd be like, if the retention rate was 11% for one video, then cool, we only need to pay you 11% of the agreed upon thing then. You're looking confused.
Sorry, I'm reading ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it sounds like the only thing that he has gripes with, just reading through here, is the way he went about sharing the thing. And like, he's taken data from behind the scenes and using it to skew my reputation, but doesn't actually address the concern. So, yeah. I don't know. A lot of information there. I'm curious. It sounds like apparently, according to Hoser 40K, I think BGG removed all threads discussing this topic. I know, like on Discord or on Reddit, there was a bunch of talk back and forth, like not with between these two, but like people talking back and forth about this. And I think I do think actually Rodney did perk up on some of those chains. I think honestly, based on what I saw in the timeline, the reason it took so long for Chaz to respond is he probably got lawyers involved. Because all of this sounds like, you know, a lawsuit or something coming or something.
That does sound like that, yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I said, you know, we try not. It's hard. You know, everybody's fallible. It's kind of hard to we build up people to be these like quote unquote famous or influencers, and then you find out like the awful stuff behind them. But the Rodney Smith's kind of built a little bit of a legacy on being kind of pretty good when it comes to ethics. So it's kind of like the onus is on you to kind of fix that. You know, like when he calls you out, it's like, yeah, because he saw something wrong. So, all right. Enough of that. You want to talk some Gundam stuff?
What kind of questions that? Of course, I want to talk Gundam stuff.
Our work bought new power tools and had a big meeting on it, which I skipped. When I was written up and brought in to explain, I pointed out that the tools said no assembly required. So, we got Gundam Assemble. The miniatures game from Bandai has been fully revealed with starter sets and more coming out later this year, as in October 2026. Philip, you ready for some Gundam?
Hell yeah. And if you want to buy everything, it's going to cost you like $600.
I mean, everything in like wave 1.
Yes.
Also,
you want to buy all of the minis.
Also, why is that not? All right, go back.
Those are.
Okay, I was trying. There we go. I mean, also at the same time, as someone that plays GW games, could you imagine owning everything that GW makes for $600, like in a wave?
Oh, you would. I feel like,
yeah,
you would just be like, yes.
Like, I mean, something to keep in mind here. By the time anyone else like here, we are literally like 4 days away from hearing that they're going to make an 11th edition and getting like some previews. Probably not of the launch box. Probably it'll just be like a trailer. It'll probably be May before we actually hear what's coming. But so like, you know, my wallet's already starting to hurt because that's going to drop around the same time as the G Gundam, the card game set is coming out, which that set is going to be like the mother of all sets, by the way, speaking of Gundam. Because have you heard, like, not only is it going to have... Huh? GD05.
Is that going to be 04 or 05? That's
GD05.
5. Okay.
This is the one coming out in July, like I said, around the same time as what would be this box. So we know it's going to be G Gundam. They've also told us it's going to be Gundam Wing Endless Waltz. They've also recently announced it's going to be Char's Counterattack in there as well. It's like, how many like very popular things, like each one of those could have been its own separate set. I think it's because it's like the first anniversary set.
I did see G Gun is what 30
Yeah. They also put out like a movie.
coming up on 30. Yeah.
They put out a new
Uh-huh.
movie.
I did see that one.
All right. Leading the way, we have the starter set for Gundam Assemble, which comes with enough components for someone running a 3v3 game. It contains 6 miniatures for you to use when making your team, alongside 2 scenarios for you to play. So yeah, like this is the intro box. I think what was it? It was probably like it was like $40 ish. It was like 35, 40 ish. But we got a Zaku. We've got Wing Gundam Zero. Speaking of Endless Waltz, we've got Barbados. We've got Granddaddy Gundam over here. I don't know what this is in the back, the blue thing.
I'm not certain either. I'm looking at him. I think
that's
he's,
Epion, obviously.
Oh yeah, it's 100% Epion. Blue is.
I guess I could look in the thing if see what they say. No. At least not in this article. Yeah, I don't know what the blue one is. But then if you want to go more in depth, you can check out the Gundam Assemble Deluxe Starter Set, which gives you like a lot more. But the Deluxe Starter Set is basically like the OG Gundam stuff, which is why I saw it and I was like, I'll pass. Like the wing base model looks kind of cool, but I'm not like the hugest fan of like the OG Gundam stuff.
Oh,
But this one is the one that's like 120.
I'm digging white base.
Huh? What'd you say?
I'm digging white base.
Yeah.
That's pretty freaking cool, man.
Yeah, and then the Zaku or the other version, other big base thing. Then we got a couple of
The
expansion
Xeon,
packs
yeah.
already. Like this one looks like I don't know I'd have to zoom in, but like there's definitely a Unicorn Gundam in there. That looks like Ariel, I think. There in the center.
Here we go. So back to the first, the regular starter set.
Yep.
Yeah, you got RX 78-2, Char Zaku, Epion, Wing Zero Custom, Vidar is blue.
I don't know what that's from.
I don't either.
But yeah, and then there's even a paint set coming out that's going to be basically if you use any of the Mr. Hobby kind of Gundam paints, they're just re-themed to say Gundam Assemble color. There's a whole paint line coming out, and then they have a paint pack that's got like the three Gundams that were basically in the card game STO1 Assemble box promo thing they did. You get those 3: the gun tank, the gun cannon, and the OG Gundam. And then like 4 paints and a brush. But you can also buy like these paints individually as well.
Gundam Vidar is from IBO. So the starter set includes 2 from Gundam, 2 from IBO, and 2 from Wing.
Okay. That's what I kind of liked assume probably, but we'll see. All right. Philip, have you already like pre-ordered everything?
I did not pre-order. I did fill my cart, which is how I can tell you it's like $600.
Yeah, but I don't know. I personally, everybody was like, I got sent so many messages and sent this so many times. People were like, "Are you getting this? Are you getting this? Are you getting this?" And I'm like, actually, no. Like my plan is not like that was part of the plan of reason why I got so hard into the card game was specifically because I was like, all right, it's gonna take forever for like the individual Gundams to get that I like to get actual minis released, and I want to play Gundam stuff before then. So that's why I got into the card game. And then also, there's too many fucking games. There's too many games. And it's like, I'm going to see, like, if enough people buy this and, like, play it, then, like, maybe after a couple months, I might get into it. Or I may see the models when they come out and then change my mind completely. So
That could be.
But like that's the thing is like when Trench Crusade came out and everybody was like, "Oh, you're gonna play Trench Crusade?" And I'm like, I'm gonna give it 6 months and see if people are still playing it. I gave it 6 months. People were not playing it. So I was like, I made the right call there. And like I keep like every week or so, I've got somebody finding a new minis game, and they're like, "Oh, you want to play this?" And I'm like, "Let me get the stuff I have painted already." Yeah, exactly. Let me play what I've already got. You know, Rusty will like until then play some snap ships, but yeah. Or going back in the chat, looks like Orcs versus Space Marines for the 11th edition box. Yeah, I'm kind of getting John interested in playing more 40K because he's interested in playing some Orcs. Yeah, and it doesn't need to be painted. Yes.
That's right. Snap ships does not need to be painted. You are correct.
By the
Although
way,
neither did X-Wing,
yeah,
and that one tournament I played in, dude, people customized the hell out of those ships, and they looked amazing.
yeah, painting custom like decals and stuff on
Oh yeah.
them. Speaking of which, Phil, have you picked up your Vipers yet?
No, I got to go tomorrow. I got a loop around the county. I got to make tomorrow. To do stuff.
So yeah, what is this?
You're like, no. What
Oh my
what
God.
is that for?
Freaking my mouse.
Oh, I was gonna say, is it for the next article?
Yeah, my mouse was just like lagging so much trying to like move it around and overshoot. What the hell is going on? I need to wire in that one. Maybe it won't be so laggy. But yeah, so Gundam stuff. We don't know. Or actually, we do know. Actually, they released a whole bunch of videos about how to play. So there's a lot of info out there. I'm moving on. I wonder if anyone's made an end of the world movie where the battle for good and evil gets all tense and dire, only for have the two leaders suddenly just like make out. They could call it Apocalypse. 40K Apocalypse is back with new rules. So GW keeps putting out these, because we are about to have a new edition, and it's hard for them to put out product because everyone's like, I'm going to hold back because there's a new edition coming out, and they can't put codexes out anymore, A, because they've already done it, and B, because no one would buy it this late anyways. So they keep putting out these campaign books, and I keep fucking buying them. Because, like, I am a sucker for a good campaign book. And some of the first ones was really cool where there was, like, maps and you would, like, claim a section of space and, like, have battles and have, like, upkeep stuff in between games of, like, the kind of the RTS mode of, like, planning out your structure of your army to, like, help the next game. So they've been doing all that, and like literally, I want to run a campaign with them. I'm just trying to get more terrain to run like a couple of games. But things like this they always do at the very end. It's like boarding actions came out at the end of 9th. But we got Reign of Iron in the Eye of Terror box, Reign of Iron, and then Reign of Iron Apocalypse. So Apocalypse is if you have a whole lot of minis and like need a way to play it. So like Apocalypse is the game mode. So like your standard 4K game goes up to like 2,000 points. You know, maybe you'll see some modes where they play 3,000 points or whatever. Apocalypse is when you play with like 10,000 points aside. And if you were to play it per standard rules, that would be like a multiple day kind of process. So instead, the Apocalypse rules is how you can like play with all those models, but we're gonna like group things down into like flanks instead of moving individual models.
See, and I know that now because when we hosted the game store stream,
Yeah.
at the game store, there were that game had 2 rounds.
Yeah. And it was like
Each guy had 2 turns.
It was like an hour and a half
It's
between
like an hour and a half.
the first round. Because in that stream you can see us being like, has it gotten around 2 yet? I tell you what, since we had to restart everything, the lag on your video has gone down a lot.
Oh, cool.
Of course, now that I pointed out, shit's gonna get fucked up.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, see,
And-
Beatle's talking about
That's
large
like 4
points. He's like,
nights.
that's like 4 nights.
No. 4 nights is like in 2,000 points. That's like 4 Titans.
There we go.
Yeah. A new set of rules that brings back classic large-scale apocalypse games back to 40K. They offered no hard details yet on how new Apocalypse 40K games will work or exactly how the new rules build on or chuck out the 3 previous Apocalypse rule sets released in 2007, 2013, and 2019. These have always had their lovers and detractors, as it's very difficult to take a complicated 2.5-hour game at double its scale without changing a lot of things people love about the vanilla version. But the Apocalypse system, the new one, has a system of modular guidelines and adjustments to allow huge games that the book would bundle with Reign of Iron will offer all sorts of ways to streamline and account for significantly larger army sizes, with sections designed to be added and removed on how you like to play. It comes as a part of GW's 3rd and presumably final narrative supplement needed to the final run-up to 11th edition. They're keeping Stum about that. We expect to be announced at Adepticon. That's what's like. Literally, the preview stream is like Thursday at Adepticon. So this coming weekend is Adepticon, where we could possibly get a bunch of like new. I imagine we get. Well, there's already been like leaks and already news pieces coming out, but
Beto, I think you got your scale off. That's tractor trailers of dice.
Tractor Supply worth of dice. All right.
18-wheeler overturns delivering dice, delivers 9 million damage to the highway.
All right. We talked about it briefly last time, but moving on. I renovated my new place to have an upper room where I could have dance party. It's a real Ravenloft. It's so sad hearing it. Like, but we got the D&D lineup.
Speaker to microphone to speaker to microphone.
Yeah. Beginning with a return to Ravenloft. D&D revealed its upcoming lineup of books, answering questions players at last. Like I said, we hit on this last time. Starts with a return to late Ravenloft. It took until Gamma for Wizards of the Coast to unveil its plans for D&D for the year. It's been revealed at last. They have planned for 4 major source books with accompanying accessories, in this case, specifically its decks of cards. And as of today, we have the titles and themes of 3 of these new source books. The 4th is coming later. Each source book acts as an anchor for WotC's focus, an idea introduced, blah, 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 as the full franchise mode. It is seasons for D&D. Each source book sets the tone for the season, and coordinating with that, connected products and play initiatives. This is what's weird. So they're doing these seasons, but the seasons end when the product comes out. You would think that's when it starts, but it ends. And it kind of makes like a little bit of sense, because what they're doing is like they've got the Adventurers League stuff, and they're gonna change. They're returning instead a thing called D&D Encounters, which is what it was in 4th edition. So that's their like organized play for D&D, where it's like you can go into your weekly store or your store every Wednesday and just pick up games, but I can take this character from this game and go to a different game store and play in that game instead. So, but the way they're doing with the seasons is it like the 3 months prior to the book releasing, there's going to be a bunch of stuff in the stores and like the encounters, like building up hype for the book. And then when the book comes out, it's like, okay, cut to new season. That kind of makes sense a little bit, because once the product's out, it is like, you know, if you way all this stuff works is like you get the hype build up and then like it comes out and nobody cares. So like I kind like that part, when you originally say it, it sounds weird, but if you think about it on like a marketing and a hype level, it makes sense, because if you think like for instance, when you're playing Magic the Gathering and there's a new Magic the Gathering set, there's so much build up like leading up to, or like right now with Gundam. Like they're the new set's coming out. There's a new set. There's a freaking there's a new starter pack. STO9 releases on this weekend. And they're so like every day they're like showing off a new card, showing off a new, showing off a new card, showing off new mechanics, whatever. And then literally when the product comes out, they shift to, okay, what's the next thing coming out? So I understand that aspect of the season is like, the season is not so much a like play season, it's a marketing season kind of thing.
Okay, the marketing season.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Like they're
Now
talking about it as in gameplay seasons, but they're using stuff like the D&D encounters at your local store functionally as marketing buildup, which is what it was anyways. But that's why it's like, it does make sense in that, like, it's not a season like I'm in the camp of no one gives a season. Yeah. I mean, is this probably going to be any good? Chances are no. But I'm just saying I can see the logic there, is all I'm saying, of like, they're using a hype build up, release the product when it's at its peak hype, shift to the next thing. Unlike a video game season, which is release the thing. Because, I mean, think about it. It kind of makes sense even in a video game format where, if you think about it, the most that, like, if you've got a Destiny season, or like I've gotten started playing Diablo 4, and like they got the seasonal stuff for that, the most when people play is like at that very beginning of the new season. Maybe sometimes right at the end when people like come back to, like, they're getting hyped for the next season technically kind of piece. So that's where it's like, I kind of understand that a little bit of it makes a weird sense to me of like, you don't want to drag this out and then like the hype goes down and then gets back up as they're ready for the next thing. Better to build it up, release the product, the hype drops, and then start the build up for the next thing. So, and
I'm just focusing on the last line. And we both have the words up on the screen.
Yeah.
Take your character from level 1 to 30.
Yeah, that's weird because 4th edition went to 30.
Can we bring that back?
Huh?
Can we bring that back? That sounds great.
You never make it to 30.
Okay. Well, and that's a scheduling issue, because D&D is not playing D&D. It's getting people actually in the house to play D&D. That's the main focus of D&D. But I mean, you can do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, yeah.
Don't
because
spend
like,
spend 8 real world sessions on the Dragon Caravan.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't do that.
So where I've been running the Adventures League, and like per the rules, you're supposed to get a level, like you gain a level every time you play at least a 2 hour session. Like if you've played a session for at least 2 hours, you gain a level. So like we've got a guy his rogue is like level 18 because he's been playing for like the past 3 months, showing up like every week. So
our D&D sessions were 4 hours long.
Yeah. I mean, the Adventures League is like 3 hours technically but yeah. Also, you got to remember, it says it makes sense for a marketing team, but not a consumer. This was also announced at Gamma Trade Show, which is not for consumers. Like, it got announced and published everywhere, but like, also, they were trying to talk to people that are going to market the thing. They were not speaking to consumers. But But yeah, I mean, this is what happens when you have people that run video games run your books. But I mean, Rusted Beetle says, especially if the marketing's over when the book drops. However, I would beg to differ that like a book, a book has a shelf life literally of like, it. I would imagine that peters out real fast. Like any product, think about a Kickstarter. Like any Kickstarter, it's real popular when it first comes out, or like they first talk about it, and then nobody cares about it after a week or after a year or whatever, But so I mean, this piece somewhat, like I said, it sounds dumb from a consumer standpoint, but like I get it because the most time people, if you don't buy like a D&D book within the first like month, you're probably not gonna buy it. Yeah, I mean, for 80% of the people buying it, and that's who you're marketing to. You're trying to market to the people to make a quick buck because again, money. Wizards they're not trying to make money off of the long tail that books do have, but they're trying.
That's why the price always goes down, like 6 months later.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already got the suckers at 100%.
Yeah.
So now it's like, we'll drop the price down to 75%.
Also known as a Steam sale. Although still, I wish I could, like, Baldur's Gate 3's been out for like 3 freaking years. Can we get it below 20? Like, can we get it below $20, please?
Something on my wish list. What was it? Something on my wish list dropped to like $3.
Nice.
And I was like, I may just get it just because it's $3.
Yeah. All right. So that's the news. I will say just a quick plug in here. We did get a new Patreon or a new patron backer. Let me just pull up my email.
All right, woo!
So got a new $1 member, Nightshades. So thank you so much for your patronage. And if you want me to read your name out, then you got to go to patreon.com/boardsandSwords and help fund this blog, this thing of chaos right here. Because Daddy needs a new computer.
If anybody would like to, let's start with RAM and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Actually, I'm behind the scenes a little bit here. I'm actually thinking about getting. Have you seen those like video switchers? That like you can put in different inputs and then like press the buttons. It's like what the Steam Deck does as software, but in hardware form.
Yeah. I have one of those.
Yeah, well, the Black Magic makes one that also will export the stream and do the video encoding. So I can plug everything in, and it basically it will run the stream, and then I don't have to have OBS up on my computer.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, mine is so. This. I got one back in the early aughts.
Yeah,
and it's got red, white. It's got on the back. It's got 3 red, white, yellow S, and on the front it's got a red, white, yellow S, and then it outputs to coax for the TV.
Yeah,
and it was an auto switcher too. So like I had all my game consoles plugged in, and it had a priority of like even if I left them all on.
Yeah.
It would like number 1 would be the one that would always. I'd have to turn number 1 off, and then number 2 would auto.
Yeah. Now that we've got the news wrapped up, we are going to talk with Alberto and Andrea from the Gates of Krystalia Isekai RPG or Isekai Anime RPG Kickstarter, and I had a great conversation with them, and we'll check that out. Hey there, everybody. I'm here with Alberto and Andrea. They are some of the brains behind Gates of Krystalia, which is a RPG that's been in the works and also is ongoing. There's some current campaigns going on right here. This interview is going to be a little bit different because Andre, who does a lot of the creative work, does not speak English well or enough. So Alberto, who's more of the marketing mind, will be doing some translating. So if there's any delays in sort of that is why. So first off, I guess the first thing is to talk about what is, for someone that's unfamiliar, what is Gates of Krystalia?
Yes, absolutely. So thank you for being here. So Gates of Krystalia is a tabletop role-play game inspired by anime Isekai games. And the particularity of the game is that it's characterized by the use of cards is in place of dice. Our story started more or less 1 year and 4 months ago when we started to show the project to the public with our first Kickstarter. And right now we are close to release the second expansion of the game, thanks to the Kickstarter that is currently live and will end on Wednesday.
Awesome.
So Gates of Krystalia start to create something revolutionary for the market of tabletop role-play games, because we want to create something that can be more strategical and less random. And at the same time, so we want also to bring younger people in that market, because right now the average is like 35, 55. But our idea is that thanks to the fact that card, especially with trading card game like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, have a younger audience that could be even 16, 22, stuff like this, we can bring new people in the market that can experience this kind of games.
Plus the anime inspired art style definitely, I'm not going to say favors the younger, because there's definitely people of all ages, but more welcoming, I might say, than like your standard, like I'm going to say Tolkien-esque fantasy setting.
Yeah.
Like the
so
art.
yeah. I just added this short introduction so everybody that is listening can understand. So me, I'm Alberto, and in the team, I'm the manager of everything. So I cover marketing, logistic, production, networking with influencer platform and stuff like this. And Andrea is the author, graphic designer, lead artist, and stuff like this. So right now I will reply with my knowledges. Then if I have something to add, I will ask to Andrea. He will speak with me in Italian, and then I will add that information. But basically, Andrea watch a lot of anime, and the main inspiration is a mix of life of slime, Frieren, solo leveling, and like in the reality is like everything, because there is a little bite of every anime that you can experience, especially because as I discussed before, in Gates of Krystalia there are 11 words, and every word is created to cover a niche of anime. So one that could be with the main topic that are oceans, so people can play a kind of, I don't know, One Piece or some anime that are in the ocean. One that is main focus on fight, so kind of Dragon Ball, Naruto one, and so on. So it's really a mix of all of them, because the goal is literally to cover all the possible desire of our audiences.
Right. So like, doesn't matter what type of, and that what type of genres you like, that there's eventually going to be a setting.
Yeah, we can say that for sure. If we want to restrict a bit the genre, is that in the anime field we are focused on isekai, because isekai mean that the hero have at the beginning a normal life, then he die and he restart his life in another world. And so the idea of like reborn or change your life is for sure the center of the anime that we want to play inside the game.
Plus, it's kind of a perfect fit for an RPG because it's like the whole idea of Isekai is there's this already existing world, and then us as people that have no idea what's going on are just like dropped in, and there's that like
Yeah,
what is it like? So I feel like that makes perfect sense, to kind of focus down that route.
yeah, absolutely. Especially because in our game, in addition to the classic theme of fight and like explore the world, we have a strong description of the psychology, of the corruption in the characters, of the emotions. And it's so important because when a person arrives in a new world, he feels lost. So there is also this kind of trauma that you need to experience to describe, to understand that you are in a new situation and you need to adapt to continue your new life in that place.
Right. And like one of the problems I have when running RPGs is you say I want to run an RPG in like an existing world, or like say, but or even better, like I come up with a world and then players are interacting with NPCs with factions, kingdoms, whatever, and you're having to be like, no, you would know as a player that this is actually the second prince's son, or like that's actually really improper or whatever, like when their character goes and does something. But in something like this with like an isekai where it's like they don't know because they're supposed to not know.
Yeah, because a characteristic of our game is, for example, that when you start your new life, the resources that you have aren't enough to afford to a basic equipment. So that's also part of the game because you need to know that you have really to restart from scratch and create your destiny from zero to gradually recreate your life. So absolutely, I agree with what you said, and that's our desire.
So, can you explain when you were talking about the card aspect and the TCG kind of influence? What does that look like? Like, how does that? Because it looks like based on what I'm seeing on the website, it's a regular playing deck of cards.
Yes, it's a regular poker French card deck without obviously the jokers. The card deck is the vital energy of the character. At the same times, you use these cards also to combat, so to attack and to react, but also to do some tests of competence. And so you need always to balance your decision because every decision that you make affect obviously the result of your combat, but at the same time your life. And in addition to this, we can say basic mechanics, there are another card deck that we call combat card deck that permit us to add strategies because maybe you can redraw new cards, reuse cards, create special combination and stuff like this. And that's also why all our product in the table of content have some chapters that are colored in green and some that are colored in red. Why? Because green are the basic rules. Red are rules that the players can use if they want some more advanced settings or similar. So in this way, literally, child can play, but even adults if they want something deeper and stuff like this.
These cards are beautiful, I just got to say.
Thanks so much.
And then also,
I just added this last part. So every expansion that we are publishing, we are adding also new cards because there are more combat cards related to the world. As every world have different races, but also we are expanding the mechanics because, for example, in the last Kickstarter, we started to discuss about the world building, and right now we will release the territory card deck based in the first of the 11 worlds of Gates of Krystalia, that it's Lumina. And this is the card deck that is visible in the add-on section of the Kickstarter campaign that you are showing.
Yeah, I was just to get some better than just the same images on there. But I'm curious about the item creation. So is there a second, aside from the poker deck, is there also, because this looks like a card itself, is there a separate, how does the item creation work?
Yeah, basically there are several resources that can be like dress, object, potions, flowers, and stuff like this. Each of them require some elements to take, and so at the end, there's equipment are like permit the character to grow during the path of the hero, and also every world and every setting have different elements that the character can obtain. And why? Because we want to permit the players to have the maximum customization, and also thanks to the fact that every world is connected through these gates. Even a race from Lumina world can have equipment from another world because he explored the other world, is able to afford to the items and so on.
So, and we briefly mentioned that there's a Kickstarter going on right now. The link will be in the show notes. So is it possible to get the book, the core rule book now, or is it more of backing to get it when the expansion?
Absolutely, it's possible. If you want, I share you the link. Let me just drive 1 second that I open the Google Drive link.
That's right. You can just send it to me in email, and I'll just put it. I'll put it in the.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, here. Share. Okay. I send you the email right now.
Okay.
Okay, sent.
There it goes.
Ovviamente c'è anche il pezzo che gli eroi possono uccidere i mostri e ottenere del loot per poi craftare gli oggetti, e ovviamente una cosa importante è anche la costruzione del regno, perché consente di giocare quelle sessioni un po' slow life.
Cos'è il loot?
Il loot è quando raccogli gli oggetti, si chiama loot in inglese.
Okay. So Andrea also added that obviously in addition to the combat and to the fact that you start a new life, and in addition to the object that you can collect, there is also a big part that is dedicated to the creation of the world, where you can start obviously at the beginning with a very basic and rudimental house, But then, thanks to the fact that you collect new material, new resources, you can also grow your kingdom.
Yes, that's right. I did see that mentioned on the website where it talked about like your kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you get that. I mean, again, talk about a core aspect of Isekai, where it's like the start with the
Yeah.
like shed in the back
Yeah.
that you start.
Yeah, because obviously there are people that love combat, but there are people also that love slow life, so just explore in a chill mode and so on.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's another even genre of isekai anime of the like I don't want to
Yeah.
be a fighter. I just happen to be super powerful. So, so right now, like you said, right now the core rule book is available to pick up. And then the
Yeah.
Kickstarter that's going on right now. I'm scrolling back up to the top of the page is for Lumia, which is the second world or third.
Yeah, is the third book and is the second expansion, because basically in the banner you can see three books. The blue books, that is the first one from the left, that is the core rule book. The second one, that is the violet book, is Last Deux, that is a mix of a dungeon master guide plus school settings for the players, plus solo mode. And then the Lumina, that is the pink book, the one on the right, that is the core of the campaign, but obviously people can purchase all of them if they want, because obviously it's necessary the previous book to play to Lumina book, because it was always like a gradual story.
Right. And then so in the Lumia, what specifically is getting added in that wasn't in the previous two books?
Yes. So basically you can say that the previous two books permit you to understand how to play in a elemental and deep way. And then the Lumina world will expand the lore of the game, will introduce all the races, all the classes that are really from Lumina world. They will add new mechanics, new vehicles, new stuff. The games is obviously always the same. It's just a different word that can help you to understand the lore, and then that maybe it can permit you to understand that this is the word that you prefer. So your hero will come from this word. But at the same time, is the most important word because it's the only word that have the gates to connect to the other words. So when we will release the next word, you are always forced to go and try to enter in Lumina to change another word. So it's like kind of a mandatory word.
Gotcha. So is it because you talked about how each world is kind of like a different type of different genre. So is the idea is Lumia is more of kind of like that multiversal traveler kind of genre?
It will be more medieval fantasy style, but at the same
standard Isekai.
Yeah, and will be really the classic standard of anime isekai. But at the same time, obviously, as there are travelers around the world that move from other worlds, there will be also this kind of characters. Just for the moment, we didn't anticipate too much of them. Obviously, there are some of them, but others will be just revealed when we publish the book dedicated to that world.
Gotcha. Just scrolling through on the Kickstarter here. I really like just this kind of caught my glance where you're talking about that this isn't just a carbon copy of traditional RPG books that, you know, as you mentioned on like literally on the page here, feel like high school textbooks, which anybody that's played RPGs will know. It's like whoever bought the book is probably the only one that read the book. Like nobody else usually other than the GM really reads it.
Yeah.
But especially when you're talking
Yeah,
about trying to appeal for kids, that it's you got a little bit more basic layout, or more than
yeah,
a
but
basic layout.
not only for kids, but also because a lot of reader that even a normal reader that have 40 years old, they don't want to restart to read a 400, 500 pages of book formatted in two columns per page with just like one image every 10 pages, very boring, stuff like this. And also, our desire was to bring new people inside, not only people that are young, but also people that are curious of the product because it's very aesthetic. So that's also why our book is full of infographic, graphical element that attract your attention. If you read the book, it's hard that you stop because it's always full of hooks to grab your attentions and to create a gamification in a book, even if the book is a kind of a static element, but we introduce a lot of elements that come from mobile games, for example, video games, and you can easily see scrolling the pages of the book that a lot of these elements help you.
Diciamo che esistono molti giochi di ruolo attualmente che hanno una struttura che hanno un world building molto forte, ma è troppo narrativo e sembra più un romanzo che un gioco di ruolo perché le regole sono poche, mentre i nostri manuali hanno molte regole, nel senso che tutti i vari aspetti del gioco vengono coperti e ognuno sceglie quali regole inserire nel proprio pacchetto per avere il proprio anime su misura.
Okay. So Andrea had this part that regard a comparison because the other TTRPG and our TTRPG. So basically, normally the other TTRPGs are more focused on the lore of the game, but our approach was more related to create rules that permit the maximum creativity in terms of creating history and something else, but always kind of respecting the rules because this permit to reduce randomness and to respect the philosophy of cards, so strategy. So you don't have like you would like to do something, but then the dice create like generate a result that it's completely different from what you have in mind. If you are conscious of the card that you have in your mind, you are conscious of what you can and can't do with them.
Yeah, that's always one of the limitations, especially I can see it because I do Dungeons and Dragons games for kids at our local game store, and you can totally see where they're like, I'm gonna run up and I'm gonna do this super cool thing. One on the dial, like I did the next.
Yeah, exactly this. So that's why we want to move. So we decided to start to move in that direction, even if it's unusual because like the majority of the game use dice, but both for our desire and also to we can say break the market because we want to bring innovation not only for the aesthetics because obviously me and Andrea comes from the book publishing business, so we have a deep expertise in this kind of field that from what we see like nobody have in the TTRPG market because normally there are just very standard formatting. So this was one of our like breaking point, but at the same time the use of cards and the simultaneous combat, thanks to the fact that we have cards, permit us to bring new elements in a classic niche like a tabletop role-play game.
Yeah, no, it is kind of something as I'm sitting here thinking about it. That is kind of a unique aspect of deck of cards is, unlike a die where each die roll is completely independent from previous die rolls, which means you can have those sessions where it's just bad roll, bad, you're spending the entire night. Well, I just showed up for 3-4 hours and didn't do anything, maybe once. Whereas like the deck is like, okay, maybe I get bad draw, but those cards are now gone from the deck, and my chances of getting a good draw have now gone up.
Yeah, absolutely. And also if you add as you said correctly, if you have bad draw, then for sure it will be a good draw. At the same time, thanks to the fact that we add the combat card or special effect, then you can also work more in the deck to recreate situation and stuff like this. At the same time, as you know what you already use, you can do strategies because you can basically count the card if you want. So it's at the same time strategic but also mental game.
Right.
Infatti
No. Go ahead.
Un giocatore ci aveva detto che aveva fatto un combattimento e pescato carte brutte e diceva che forse non si era divertito, e noi gli abbiamo fatto notare che se fai 3 combattimenti brutti, il quarto sicuramente sarai l'eroe della giornata perché avrai solo carte forti, quindi è questa la potenza del mazzo di carte.
Yeah, Andrea said an example of that. We have several players in our Discord that right now have more than 1,400 people. And one of them said, yeah, I had 3 turns where I was fighting with small enemies, where I was so unlucky. But then at the end, the third enemies that was a big enemy, I was able to destroy very easily because I already used the bad card. So right now when I'm in front of the big boss, it's easier to fight with him.
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing how this would play out in like with the friends that I play games, and I could already see it now where it's like we're getting up to like the big bad, and we're like planning out the turn, and it's like don't give or he's like, oh, someone needs to go up and hit the thing, not that guy because he's been drawing nothing but good cards, so he's probably his luck's running low, or someone's been riding high and then they flip that one like bad card and you're like, oh.
Yeah, and right now another cool things that we introduced is that until before we introduced just the solo mode in the school settings of Last Deus expansion book, but right now thanks to our backers we unlocked the stretch goal that is the web app and virtual tabletop. So this will permit you also to experience this kind of situation. So we can say bad cards, good cards, even when you are alone, and also even simulating graphically everything thanks to these things. Then I can even share with you the links so you can understand. The virtual tabletop is still not open to everybody, so it's just public for the moment, the web app, but it already start to show that we are trying to increase the experience of the player, not only in a physical way with the product that obviously are a very aesthetic, but also very high quality in terms of materials, but also for digital experience, because we discover that a lot of people prefer or simply don't have the possibility to play with others. So it's a good alternative to enjoy your day if you can play in that way.
Yep. That especially in a post-COVID world, that has become like a big thing as far as everybody realizing that, I want to play all these games, but I only get to game like once every 2-3 weeks if I'm lucky. So
yeah.
And then you also, sometimes it's not even that. It's just like, I've got friends that will refuse to play anything other than X RPG, whether it's D&D or whatever. And it's like, well, I want to play something else.
Yeah, or simply they want, but you don't find the right time to organize everything or other kind of stuff. That's also why we created on Discord several sub-channels where people can play online there. And this can help all the desires of the players.
Abbiamo anche un gruppo, cioè abbiamo anche 2 giocatori spagnoli che giocano da 1 anno e mezzo da soli senza master, senza narratore. Quindi
Yeah,
sfruttano la modalità in solitario per giocare comunque in 2.
yeah. And Andrea said that we have even some players that even before that we introduce the solo mode, they basically adapt the rules of the classic games to play alone, and they are playing from like the beginning, from when we start to release the game. Even in the alpha version, they are playing alone and they enjoy. So the possibilities are really unlimited.
And I want to get back up to the Discord piece there in a second, but I will say something else that's not that people don't talk about a lot with solo modes, and I think is really helpful, is also as a GM tool, where like a lot of times anyone that's ever tried to run a brand new game, it's like you can watch videos and you can do, but like until you play the game, you're always going to be like, crap, I gotta, well, how does that work? How does this work? Whereas like a solo mode is I can run like 2-3 times kind of and get kind of really knowledgeable about the rule set before I go and have other people at the table and they're asking me questions.
It's a good way to train in a kind of no risk area, we can say it, absolutely. Yeah, and also we have players that like sometimes play just writing messages and replying inside a dedicated channel. So even in that way, if you have no time, but then you can literally just, I don't know, we are a group of 6 people. If there is no like, we agree that there is not important turn that me before me, then you, then Andrea, and so on. The first one that can reply, and then the story grow gradually.
So also kind of again touching on other aspects of people that don't play games. So you have a Discord going, and I've jumped into it myself. It's just filled with a bunch of different people, and so there's like active games. So if someone's interested, and again maybe it's, anime can be kind of very hit or miss with people. So maybe if maybe nobody else in your group is an anime fan, so you can jump into the Discord and find other people to play these games with.
Yeah, absolutely. And also maybe I forgot to specify, but all our games except Lumina, that we just for the moment release 4 languages, but all the other material are in 6 languages. So if English is not your first language, we have Italian, German, French, Spanish, Brazilian Portuguese, and English. So 6 in total. So there is also this variety that permits you to do several things.
Awesome. I'm always curious with just because I'm limited to being here in the US. I'm very curious to kind of see like what gaming is like for other people in other countries. Just because like I'll get stories of people and I'm like, man, that sounds so much better than over here. You hear people talk about like gaming cafes.
Yeah, because the philosophy of translate the game, obviously always not like translating in terms of I translate that word in that word, but for us was always a localization. So we need to really understand how works the TTRPG in German market, how works in French market, so we can really localize. And it's cool because thanks to the fact that we offer a lot of languages. 99% of the other games don't offer a lot of languages. Normally, they offer like two normally, the main language of the author and the language and the English. But thanks to the fact that we manage all the languages inside our team, we don't like sell the IP to another publisher or something like this. This permits us to receive several feedback, and then if we retain that a feedback received from Brazilian market could be cool for everybody, why not apply that innovation as a standard rules or as an alternative rules to everybody? So in this way, every people that come from a specific place can understand the new rules that never hear before, but maybe is the standard in another countries, and can find a new way of play.
Awesome. So I'm curious, where have you seen the biggest interest in, with such an international audience? Like, is it mainly kind of English speaking countries, or?
Yes. So for our current data, like we can say that more or less we can say that are like 40% are English speaking people, mainly obviously from US, and this is also obviously related to the fact that on Kickstarter the broader audience is from US. But then we have also a strong Italian community, for sure, thanks to the fact that we are Italian. Then we have also a big community of French people, and is growing also the Spanish one. The little community for the moment is the Brazilian and German one. That's also why the last expansion, for the moment, we decide to don't translate, because it's not like economically reasonable to convert and localize if there are just few players. But obviously, our desire is, if it's possible, to translate the book also in other languages, because we have clients even from Japan that we are proud of them, but obviously they are just a small part. But our desire is for sure to translate also in Japanese, Chinese, and other important languages that can permit us to like really increase the reach of the game, and also show that there are other products that can be played as TTRPGs and are not created around dice.
Yeah, I was going to ask how the influence was, if interest was for like in Japan, considering a lot of this is derived off of that and Japanese art style.
Yeah, so our clients from Japan love the product and are always surprised that the people that are not from there are able to really replicate what they do normally. But this is simple because Andrea is literally obsessed about Japanese culture, anime, manga, so he know he likes, hey, he know how to convert his love in a product. And at the same time, they obviously would like to have the book in their languages, because obviously it's always a strong barrier, especially like in Japan, China, where the language is completely different. And in a game where it's literally like play with emotions, is always better to have the game in your mother tongue language. But for the moment, who know both languages accept to read in English, and we hope that it will be possible also to translate in that language.
Gotcha. And I'm pulling up the Kickstarter right now just to see, just for people that are interested about prices. Looks like the baseline, like minimum to get in, is about $34 for just the digital for the core rulebook. I'm speaking
correct
US dollars right now, of course. And then looks like you've got add-ons for, if you want to get the cards extra. Now, are the cards okay? So the cards you'd have to buy the digital deck to get the.
It's Kickstarter. This is a limitation made by Kickstarter, not by us. Basically, if your rewards is physical, you have access to the digital and physical add-ons. If your reward is digital, Kickstarter will show you only digital add-ons. So obviously, we have all the cards in physical. But as right now you are showing the example of a digital rewards, Kickstarter will just show you the digital products.
Gotcha.
And I think that is important to say is that in the if you pay that price, for example, for the ebook $34, as you said, you have included all the stretch goals that are products that are free for all backers. And one, very probably the most important stretch goal is the virtual tabletop and web app that obviously
Nice.
have a big value compared to just the $34. So this is a big opportunity because then that product will be sold and not received for free just because you are a backer. So yeah, more backers we collect, more money we collect, more stretch goal will be sent to the backers literally for free.
Gotcha. So I imagine I would imagine like the sounds like the rule book is more of to get a taste of the system, but it seems more like the bundles here, where you get the card decks as well, seems to be kind of the ideal what you need to play.
We can say that basically we conceive the game in order that everybody can play, even not investing a lot, because basically you can start with just the digital book and then play physically if you really want, because at the end, the VA card deck, that is the poker card deck that we discussed before, you can use our card deck that obviously is illustrated by us. So every card have a different illustration, but at the end is a poker card deck. So if you want to use a classic card deck that literally costs, I don't know, $5, you can use it and you save money. But obviously, if you want several add-ons to increase the quality of your game, you can purchase our brand product. But if not, you literally just need the core rulebook and a poker card deck for each player, dungeon master included. In our game, we call dungeon master Deux. That's why last Deux is the dungeon master guide.
Right.
And then, yeah, we are full of additional product, but really the base is the core rule book. Then you can increase your experience with a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through, looking at all the extra stuff, because of course, if you want to get, there's tons of levels on here where you can get all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, that's why, because obviously if we just keep like the all-in stuff, it's impossible to find players. So we give the maximum possibilities and then people can decide. And also Kickstarter did great things, I think, because from the October 2025, they introduced the option pledge over the time that permit people to split the payment in 3 parts. So people can even gradually pay without an extra commission.
Right.
In this way, they can enjoy the product that they desire, even if they can't afford, one step immediately.
So I'm browsing through the stretch goals here.
Yeah.
It looks like gilded pink page edges. So what are and there's a couple of reworks in here. Was that just like issues in the first time around that?
No, it's basically when we create the core rulebook, obviously we were forced to create races, classes, and stuff like this to give, I don't know, a setup of a couple of characters that people can start from. But right now that we are entering in the specific world, if some of the races that come from the generic settings are re-elaborated right now, that's why we readapt to that world. Obviously, people can just decide to continue to play the standard version. This is always like a kind of thematized alternative for the world. But yeah, this is one of the examples.
Gotcha. Now, so on you said the Kickstarter closes on Wednesday.
On Wednesday at 5 p.m. San Francisco time, that is like, if I remember well, it was like 11 p.m. New York time, something more like this.
It's 8 p.m. here. So unfortunately, this will probably go out after that happens. So if someone's interested in this, and they hear about this after.
Is not a problem. The page will still open with exactly the same thing. The only difference will be that the prices of the rewards will be adapted in late pledge. So what does it mean? That normally the price between regular campaign and late pledge, Kickstarter require a 10% more. So obviously the price will be 10% more, but for the rest, until the late pledge still open, they can continue to, if they back the project, back mean obviously support, they can continue to receive all the stretch goal, even if the campaign is not in a live launch, but in a late pledge phase.
Okay. And then if say someone's interested, say not, maybe they don't want, they're just wanting to get their toes wet, is still the late backing the best place to go if you're wanting just like the core rulebook and maybe the last days, or is there a better place?
For sure, because I think that the value of web app and virtual tabletop is way higher than purchase just something here. I don't know when, but we will for sure reopen the e-commerce of the old product. Old, I call old, but I mean existing product.
Right.
Very probably we will reopen around, I don't know, end of March, something like this. But there they can just purchase one by one every product, and without the possibility of add the stretch goals from the new campaign, without the possibility of add the new product. So in the e-commerce will not available Lumina, for example, or the other product that we introduce. Because basically our steps as always crowdfunding, found that project, open the late pledge, increasing the prices, and then move to e-commerce, game fair, retailers, and stuff like this.
Right. Oh, so this is the so you are or it will be available on fair for like retailers to be able to get it in stock.
Yeah. In that Kickstarter, for the first time, we already introduced a reward that is called the retail bundle. I don't remember, maybe we have already 4 shops that purchase copies in order to sell. Yeah, we are just for the Italian market, we are already active in several game stores around Italy, and gradually we are trying to enter in the distribution of every country. Very probably the next one will be United States, because also it's the biggest one.
Right.
And then so on with all the others, especially because we are unique for the fact that the game is already in 6 languages. So this helps us for sure to localize the product and to find retailers that, I don't know, a French retailer that you are not there to propose a book in English, but in French is easier that a normal shop accept to have the product in the store because it's easier to sell.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Oh man, I had a question. Crap. I had a question.
Don't worry.
Of what you were talking about, and it just gone.
Maybe you want is about the web app. I don't know.
So that was a question. I did see the where you're talking about the virtual tabletop. Is that going to be your own system, or are you using any of the existing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So yes, we literally create everything from scratch. I can always send you the link so you can take a look. But you can even do like this. Try to write. I think that I give you the link so I avoided to tell you something and then we lose time to search. So this is Okay, email sent. I send you the link of the web app that right now is open to everybody, just because we are in a beta
Right.
version. But yeah, basically it's all custom made by us. Why? Because obviously we create a system from scratch. It's not like another copy of Dungeons and Dragons that just have a little variation of them. No, we have cards. We invented the type of cards. We invented the mechanics. So we were forced to do something like this. Obviously,
wow.
first of all, to have the maximum freedom, and secondly, also to don't be forced to update like 4 platforms at the same time. So I don't know, Roll20, uh, Alchemy, Foundry, VTT, and so on. So for the moment, our approach is to keep everything in the same place. I don't know if in future we will also open a version dedicated to a specific platform, because obviously there are always people that just want that platform and we don't want to miss them as players. But for the moment, it's all made by us. And this also permits us that if we have something that we want to change, if we receive a feedback, the feedback is perfect, because someone posts a feedback on Discord and we can update immediately. We don't need to ask to the technical support of a specific platform if they can try to do something like this. And maybe they say no, because you just need you. We did a modification only if it's helpful for at least, I don't know, 3 games. So no, in this way, we have the maximum freedom of improve every aspect of the game and of the application.
All right. I gotta turn that off, because I'm gonna stop paying attention and just start messing around with character building.
Yeah, but
Nella
you can
pagina-
take it in another moment for sure, and if you have questions.
Nella pagina tecnica e nella pagina equipaggiamenti si vede meglio, diciamo, la parte grafica che abbiamo messo anche nel VTT, perché ci sono le grafiche di tutte le tecniche di combattimento più le grafiche di tutti gli oggetti nella web app dove era.
Okay, yeah, Andrea added that in the page that you were exploring, there are the images of every combat card deck and every items that you can add, like equipment, hobbies, and stuff like this. So then, if you want to take time, you can explore all these aspects of the game.
All right. I remembered my question. When granted, things change, but what are you shooting for? Releasing the Kickstarter, sending it out to backers.
So yeah, so basically, this information is public on the project timeline section on Kickstarter. But briefly, we expect that we will release the pledge manager around the end of March, and then immediately people can download the digital product related to the old campaign. That in our case is all products that are related from core rulebook and Last Deus expansion. All the new product will be released together with the shipping of the product, so August 2026. Like in all our past experience, we always release earlier, because we release an early access version in order to receive feedback, to do correction. First of all, because we have a very active part of our community that are beta testers, so they test what we do in order that is verified, and also because we want to print something that is like perfect. We don't want to print something and then realize that it's necessary an update and something like this, because it will be a disaster. So yeah, our process permits us to receive a lot of feedback always, to be sure that what we release is like perfect. Or okay, obviously there will be always small errors, but this will be always updated to everybody, because all our books, we don't sell just the books. We always sell books plus the digital version, because thanks to the digital version, we can send them the updated file with the corrections.
Awesome.
And we, every client of our product, have lifetime updates. included. So who purchased the core rulebook 1 year and 4 months ago, even like a couple of months ago, received the updated version thanks to all the feedback that we collected from all the players.
Gotcha. Now, for anybody that's wanting to stay in the loop for any future products, like obviously for updates on this Kickstarter, you'll be sending them out through that. But for any projects in the future, where should people like social media? Obviously, there's the Discord, but where's the best place to go?
Yeah. So for sure, being inside our email list is super important. You can be inside our email list simply Googling gatesofcrystalia.com and downloading the free demo. Yeah, we have a free demo available in 6 languages. The demo is quite big because I have like 98 pages, 96 pages. So it's not something that is like 10 pages, but is something that really permits you to understand the game. And one time that you are there is always a newsletter that keep you updated about the behind the scene of what is going on for the current Kickstarter, the future ideas, what we are working in terms of web app, illustrations, game design, every kind of the game. And secondly, as you said, obviously Discord or Instagram is also a channel that we are growing a lot. We reached like 3 days ago, 3,000 followers.
Nice.
That's for being in the TTRPG field are good numbers because like the very, very big have like, millions, but someone that is not super big have like 5,000, 6,000. So 3,000 is already amazing for a project that burned just 1 year, 4 months ago. And those are the main channels. We have obviously also a YouTube channel where we mainly release gameplay, battle rhythm, music that players can use while they play.
That's cool.
I don't know how the people, our illustrator that draw and show the timeline, stuff like this.
Awesome. That's so cool. All right. And so thank you so much for coming on and telling me all about it.
You're welcome.
And we're back. So thanks to them for letting us talk to them. It was a really great interview. And I'm actually excited about it. I mentioned in the thing about I think it'll be really cool for kids. So check that out. Unfortunately, you're probably not going to get bonus bits tonight because we got so delayed with stuff. But I do want to talk about the bag of holding because I need to review this. I need to review stuff, man.
Let me go get mine.
How is everybody doing today while we waiting? I need like elevator music for when Philip leaves, like burp, 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 burp.
All right. Bag of holding.
All right, I got mine too. Oh wait, what is this, Philip? What is this? This isn't the Rollacrit bag of holding. What is going on here? That's right.
Oh, yeah.
One of the reasons I wanted to do this is I have the original Think Geek bag of holding, as well as the Rollacrit one.
The new Rollacrit bag.
So I wanted.
Hey, guess what I found in one of the internal pockets of my bag of holding?
What was that? My die, or my clicker?
Yep.
Nice. So like that's why I was like, one reason I wanted to get the new one to look at, and hashtag ad here. My bag was provided free Philip did pay for his.
I did. Yeah. Last year's Unplugged was so expensive. In terms of investment.
Yeah.
So like I got the bag. I don't have to buy another one. And it can carry all my stuff.
Yeah.
I got a Wild Bill's mug.
Yeah.
I just paid $10 and have soda all freaking weekend long.
So yeah.
They
So
need you know what they need next to the Wild Bills?
what's that?
They need an insulin dispensary right next to the Wild Bills.
However, when I pulled so I'd been using this for a while, although I would switch back and forth because not only do I have the bag of holding, I have the backpack of holding and the con size bag of holding, and I would always kind of switch between the three, as different or just like a regular backpack. Yeah, I picked this up and was looking at it. This bag of holding may go to the trash after this because like I'm looking at it and it's like fraying down here at the bottom. This is the original.
Oh no, man.
This is original thinking.
We know people. Let's repair it. Let's keep it with you.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's one of those, But I mean, like it's pretty. But having said, I've had this bag for like 10 years, and like I got it used.
If you put that bag of holding in the new bag of holding, is it going to obliterate the universe?
I think we go to the astral realm then. I'm gonna like end the stream, and then like I'm gonna do it and like end the stream. Just, oh no!
Just to have that fade to black moment from The Sopranos.
Yeah, yeah. And I got this bag. Used from Corey, so technically I've not paid for either of my bags of holding, but I have paid enough of bags of holding. So, but so I wanted to talk about the comparison between the two and just kind of my thoughts on it, because I mean I've got the thing pulled up here. Like, that's an expensive bag, $165. So, and I mean, like, I'm pretty sure this was like 70, which considering it was like 10 years ago, I feel like that's probably comparable-ish.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of money then. It's still kind of a lot of money now. But, so, I will say, so first of all, first big thing I noticed about this versus the other bag is the straps themselves. I will say that while I like this bag and all the stuff it does, the problems with these bags of holding is why I would usually devote to like I would go to the con bag, is because they have so many pockets, I would fill them with so much stuff. And this strap was not cutting it for that. Like it held up. As far as like it's still in pretty good shape,
yeah,
but it hurt a lot. So I will say, swapping to the other one, which I can't because for a different reason. The strap is it's got the nice like pad on it, kind of thing, so it definitely helps in that regard. And the reason I can't show you on mine is because to get the full experience, I took my strap off and went with the backpack straps.
Oh, there you go.
Because again, even still, because like you can see, like this thing is chunky. Like my bag has got stuff in it.
It's being put to use, man.
Yeah.
That's...
I will say like the padded strap is nice. I kind of like the backpack version better. But I will say Philip has currently, for those listening on the stream, Philip currently has the bag comes with a rain bag. And on Philip, it looks like an oversized shower cap. There is like a handy little pocket down here at the bottom that it rolls up in. That is kind of nice. I have never used it.
Is that the secret pocket?
I don't think so. They keep talking about a secret pocket. I don't know. There's so many pockets where I'm like, is that the secret pocket?
Yeah, it's like, well, I don't think it can be the secret pocket. So one of the things, because I spent way too much money at that booth anyway, and there were like tiers.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, buy the bag and you got I got a free strap.
Yeah.
Not the one that comes with it.
Did you get the gelatinous cube one?
I don't. It's over there. I grabbed the bag. I didn't grab the spare strap. But one of the higher like I maxed out the tiers. I did. I spent way too much money at the booth. But they came with zipper flare.
Oh, pulls, zipper pulls.
The zipper pulls, yeah, they came with zipper pulls that you could put on there in different weapon shapes.
Yeah,
and each pack came with 5.
that's right.
And there are only 5 zippers on this bag.
Yeah,
So I'm guessing that's not the secret bucket.
probably not. However, I will say that, part of the reason that I would constantly switch bags is because also I have a habit of, I don't like it when the Zinch in me likes change. So like I get used to something and then it's like I get the dopamine hit of I need to change things. I need a new bag, or like not new as in like swap things out. Not like buying a new bag. But like, or you like, how many times did I rearrange the studio? Like every 3 months?
Yeah. Like I think by the time you moved, when you went from like Studio 2 to Studio 3, we went from Studio 2A to like Studio 2J.
Yeah. But yeah, so I do like having the option of the straps versus the backpack straps, because then it's like, because I'm already starting to feel it, where I'm starting to feel like I've been using the backpack straps, and part of it's like I kind of want to go back to the shoulder strap. Also, I will mention,
then you can look hip with your messenger bag.
Yeah. Other big thing right off the top, this version's got water bottle holders.
Yes.
Definite improvement, because that was definitely something like I was having to, when I would use the other one at cons, I was having to like clip it onto the onto the top strap or something like that with like a carabiner or something, and that just always never really works. The other side has like the standard like play mat or poster holder thing where it's basically open, but you could technically cinch up the bottle and still use it as a water bottle holder. So those are always nice. What was I gonna say? I will mention that the areas, if you know the part of the bag that I was showing to the camera that was all frayed and such, is reinforced on this bag.
Yep.
So you like this, like if you look at the bag, like they're similar, but you can definitely tell like some care went into like making this, like they didn't just make a replica. Like they were like, let's make it better.
Definitely an improved model.
Yeah, yes. Like the zippers all are like sturdier. Like everything feels like, honestly, if you were to see this bag now and I was to show you that one, it would be like, this is the bag we have at home, kind of that kind of thing. That's what it almost feels like.
This is your bag, and this is the bag she tells you not to worry about.
Yeah. Other big changes is this one. I don't. Okay, here's where the one, I'm not going to say gripe, because for different reasons. So the flap on the front that comes down, so on the original, it was magnets. That was how it was kept in place. And on this one, and there it goes, there's that piece. First of all, one of the grommets came out of mine. But then again, mine was also like a demo bag, so it's been used and abused.
Oh, yeah.
So, and it probably was like a tester before that, so that's not necessarily a guaranteed thing of it, but it snaps. I kind of like the magnets better. Because these snaps don't really go very well. But here's the problem. This is why it's not really a criticism, because although the magnets would snap easier than like these snaps, they would pop all the time. So for the most part, the bag was just open, which is fundamentally how it is now. So it's fundamentally the same situation, but different. Where like
there's also 2 different
right
snap positions.
Well, normally, yes. Mine is I've lost one, so I only have
Yours
the
is
bottom.
full. Oh.
So I have 2 on one side, 1 on the other. But for me, it's always just so much work. It's just easier to just kind of like leave it loose and just throw the flap over. Because if you've got it on your back or up against your arm and your shoulder, then like you're keeping it kind of closed anyways.
Yeah,
So,
and the stuff zips.
yeah.
The stuff under the flap zips anyway.
Yeah,
so-
exactly. That's the other thing is you've got everything. If I want to close it, I just zip up the thing.
The flap is semi superfluous.
Yeah, I mean it's really more for looks. That
And
messenger
the flap
bag
has a
look.
pocket, too.
But yeah, inside you've got the main pocket, the main pocket. There's a million of them with like all your stuff, and again, quality is a lot better. Just everything feels real nice. There's padding on the back because like there's a laptop pocket on the very back, and so you've got that kind of like padding between like that and the rest of your stuff, sort of thing to kind of like cushion your laptop.
There's even bottle holders inside the main pocket.
Yes, I did see that. That was one thing I was wondering about. Did the main one did the other one used to have that? No, it did not. Yeah, like the old one was very like matter of fact kind of, it was just that
It's
it was
a pocket.
Huh? It's a pocket, but also
It's a
like it was
pocket.
not lined. Like if you look in here, it was not lined. It was this thin fabric is it. Like that was it. There's some extra reinforcement at the bottom, and like you could see where like the hole is there for the other one. But like compared to, now, which is going to be different because I have stuff in it. But you've got like it's more than just that one layer of fabric.
Beetle, can we get you to sign a form, just allowing us to take these ideas you present to us all the time, like because that's a great. You need to put that as the tagline for this episode.
In this episode, excess baggage. Yeah.
Yes.
That is a good call. I want to write it down first before I forget.
We're just gonna send that to all our chatters in perpetuity. If you put something in chat, we might use it. And we'll credit you at some point.
We credited them now.
Exactly.
talking
Boom.
about?
It was in the episode. We
So-
credited it.
Yeah. Then you got. So I will say, the pockets upon pockets on pockets, especially as you keep going forward in the bag, start to get a little excessive. To where,
Bro, why are there so many pockets?
yeah, but then you get to the point like I'm kicking my feet up so I can like support the bag here. Like I've got stuff in here into these very front pockets, but because it's like there's a pocket there, I need to put something in it, and then I feel like I'm just weighing down the bag even more. This is why, like, when I go to a con, I like to take the con bag because then there's less stuff. So
It's small.
I'm
Max is out at
forced to
10
carry
pounds.
less stuff. Because like you're always like, it's like the, you just always be like, but what if kind of situation. Like, what if
That's why I couldn't find this damn clicker.
yeah. Like
'Cause
got
I
s-
just
some,
like-
I got some freaking Mucinex in here.
Actually, that's that you should designate like designate one of the internal bottle holder
Yeah.
pockets as just like the con drug catch all.
Yeah.
We got your Mucinex, your antacid, your Tylenol, just throw it all in.
I just need to
That's-
make a medical first aid kit because I have like also in my bag of holding is a pill container for like drugs, but like the prescription kind. So yeah. But
it is a nifty device. I'm very happy with it.
How often have you used yours since you got it?
I have not.
Not a
I used it at PAX.
yeah.
And that had been about it.
but also
I
Philip doesn't
mean,
really go a lot of places.
I was gonna say, what have I done?
Yeah. I mean, I take this to work, but that's besides the point.
Oh, that's what I could do. So I'm guessing I could. So the way it came to me, the backpack straps,
Yeah.
is just you can kind of see this right here
Yeah, there's a
is
slot in the
the
back.
bottom half of the strap.
Yep.
But there's a slot underneath to like really tuck and hide everything in there.
Yeah, that's the way I did the same thing where I kind of shoved the extra stuff in there and kind of like slid it up and around until I actually broke out the backpack part. Huh. I just realized they made that a snap too instead of a magnet. The backpack or the back pouch piece here, which also kind of on the other one was kind of like it was a snap for like, I don't know if it went all the way through like this one does. But if it does, why am I asking? I got the thing right there. Okay, so it was just a flip, but it was a magnet, and it wasn't stitched at the or wasn't or was stitched all the way across, so you could slide like. This was always good for like con brochures, like your programs and stuff.
Yep.
But overall, like this bag, the old bag, it held up. Like I said, this thing took a beating and kept on going. And like Philip said, technically, fundamentally, I could just one good stitch, and this thing would.
Yeah, we know people.
One good stitch, this would probably still be usable. So I won't throw it away. I'll donate it to somebody.
Yeah, we know people. Fix it up and.
But like this, vintage. I think is a pretty proper replacement. Obviously there's the fact, like, is it a lot of money? Yes. But after having said that, when I was looking into getting a bag, getting a new bag before I got this, and I was looking at like how much like a game bag would be versus other options, your options, like if you're not going to spend over $80 to $100 on like a proper bag, you have like very limited options on getting anything cheap. First of all, that's not going to fall apart. Here's your options. I will say, if you're going to get it, if you need a cheap game bag, and by that I mean just like a bag to carry a decent amount of stuff. First of all, JanSport backpack. That like I spent like $30. It was tiny, so like it would not fit my 17-inch laptop, which the game bag or the bag of holding does amazingly, just barely. It rounds the corners a little roughly. I got to be careful sometimes. So that's your first option, and JanSport backpacks they guarantee for life. Did not know that before. That was funny when I was looking at bags and stuff. It's like, you know what? Fuck it. I want a JanSport backpack. Like relive my glory days kind of thing. There's that. Second option is for cheap backpacks is any sort of military product. Like the Mali stuff where they've got like the lines of where you can like stick stuff through to like attach stuff on the back of your backpack and stuff like that. Anything that's like, I don't know if they actually sell to the military or they're just trying to like get that niche. There's a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of it out there if you go on Amazon. So that after that, like I said, you're spending at least $80 to $100 on a backpack or a bag of decent quality that's not going to fall apart on you. So having said, like, when you take that into account, 165, yeah, like it makes sense.
I got this at Walmart. 15 or 20 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great. It's got
Is that
it
one
also
of the,
has
like, hiking backpacks.
It's one of the hiking backpacks. Yeah, it's got the pouch for like the hydration bladder.
Yeah.
With the little.
But how much did you spend on that?
With the little pass through for the
the tube.
This is like $50.
But it was also like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So that bag is probably like $100 now.
Something like that. Yeah. What's it got in it? Oh, that's right, because this came to PAX with me. Hey, it's got a bag.
Versabito says, I've spent more on a bag before, but it was a lifetime leather bag that I've had for a couple of decades, and it still looks great. Yeah, like my parents got me one of those, like, when I graduated with my MBA, they got me one of those Toomey, like, messenger bags, because they were like, you need a briefcase. Yeah. And, like, yeah, that you will spend some money on, and I'm pretty sure that also has a lifetime piece on it. So it's like, mine's over there. Philip showing off his PSA graded 10 Doomlings card.
PSA 10. That's still cool that we both pulled 10s.
Exquisite.
And then the
10.
lady's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, because that was our question. Our question was like, wait, are these all 10s?
She's randomly pulled one. She's like, oh no, that's a 5. I'm like, okay, we're
that's okay. We're just better at you than this.
There's some random. That was our. Oh damn! That's why I haven't won the lottery.
Yeah,
used up all my luck on a friggin' Doomlings card.
Yeah, but there you go. Like I said, Rollacrit is a place to go to do that. Thanks to them for letting me review the bag. Like I said, I think it's definitely an successor on the original. It does, at the very minimum, what the original does, but also takes it even a step further. Like I bet my guess, based on just kind of messing around with it and kind of putting it through its stuff, like this bag still looks good, 10 to 15 years later. And I would expect like it to be somewhere in the realm of like 20 before I see that bag looking like this, just based off of the wear and tear I've been giving it the past couple months, and just even how well this one held up, and just seeing kind of the design evolution. So yeah, Rollacrit.com for the bag of the backpack bag of holding. If that's a lot for you, I will say that they are doing a Kickstarter soon. I don't think we have details on when, but they're bringing back the con bag of holding, which was great. That was like, it was a $30 bag from like GameStop. Now, granted,
GameStop, yeah.
It was like 35, 30. Granted, the new one is probably not going to be that. I mean, if I had to really think about it, it's probably going to be like $75, I would imagine. Because also that was like 2013 was when we were talking about that. So, yeah. But yeah, and I think there is a separate backpack. Or no, it's not a backpack. It's a handbag of holding. If you like your purse style, which a certain person that I may no longer have in my life may have a handbag of holding as well. That's what I was saying. Like, I have spent quite a pretty penny on bags that have the label bag of holding on them. So
there's a tote bag of holding.
Huh?
There's a tote bag of holding on their website.
I don't think I have that one.
$15.
Like on the Rollacrit website?
Yep.
Nice. I guess I got to go get that now. Anyways, I think that's a good place to call
it. For when you walk to the grocery store, because it's right freaking
there. It's almost like that's why I did this. Hey, Philip, can you hear this?
I can. It's like clear and that's great. And that's been our show. We want to thank everyone in the chat for putting up with our shenanigans. We're working on it. It's a work in prog mess. That's what we got going on over here, guys. If you like what you see, you got to check us out. boardandswords.com/Patreon. That way you can help support the show. Chris will roast your favorite games. That's his. Oh man, Chris, he You gotta calm over that. Calm down, buddy. Okay, we get it. Calm down. Ooh, calm down, brother. Calm down, my man. Okay. Also, check us out, boardsandswords.com. That's got the link to all of our streaming channels. It's got a schedule that we mostly stick to. It's got stuff we've done in the past. That's just the whole right there. You can find everything. Boardsandswords.com.
All right, feedback at boardsandswords.com. That's where you need to go. Let us know. Who do we need to have on the show? What do we need to talk about next? I don't know if I have anything for next week, but I have a couple of takers. So we'll see what's going on. If not, we've got some new segments. I've got more things to review. That's the point, is we need to get like these things out. Hi to Vengeance on the chat. Thanks for rolling in. Sorry, it's right here at the end, but you can just like scroll backwards and like watch the VOD or something. In the meantime, check it out. I've got plenty of things to review. We've got some Dirtbag GM stuff to talk about. I got to start getting stuff to that segment. I think that slapped last time. I still have to edit that down. But we'll see. But anyways, in the meantime, stay tuned for listening to the show. And boardsandswords.com for everything like Philip said. Facebook.com/boards&or-swords. Instagram.com/boards&or-swords. That's where you need to go to find us. We'll be back a week from Monday to have everything. And we'll have some really cool stuff. But in the meantime, remember that every gamer has a story. And this one includes some dirt bags of holding.